Hi, everyone. Welcome back. My name is Jamie Gravenese. For those of you that are new to the high school, welcome. We are so happy to have you with us. I wanted to put together a series of presentations for you so that you could take the next month to digest the logistical information of the high school, the things you might need, and have an opportunity to ask questions. This is the first of a few messages that I'm going to be sending you over the next month, but we're going to be starting with some logistical information. So, as I shared, my name is Jamie Gravenese. I'm a Acton High School principal. In this presentation, you're going to meet our school team as well as the details for how to operate the day, what your students should expect, and what you can expect. So, our high school team, Dr. Kokenauer is in charge of ninth graders with the last names A through GO, as well as 11th grade students. Mr. Bontempo is in charge of ninth graders with the last names GP through O, as well as all 10th grade students. Dr. Spiewak is in charge of ninth grade students with the last name P to Z, as well as all 12th grade students. And Mr. Smink is our athletics and activities director. These are our school counselors. Move my head here so you can see those names. The counselors stay with the students all 4 years and loop with them so that they have an opportunity to really build those relationships. If you need to reach out to your counselor for any reason, all you need to do is just email them. It's the first initial and last name. So, for instance, Mr. Peck has students from A to CL. He'd be wpeck@methacton.org. Mrs. Henning is rhenning@methacton.org, and so on. Okay, so we have two school nurses. If a student is not feeling well, the process is they go to the nurse's office. The nurse will assess them, and then we'll call you. The nurse will call you. We can't have the students calling from the bathroom. I know that sometimes that happens. They're not feeling well. You're their first point of contact. We really need the nurse to be the first point of contact so that they're able to make sure everybody is safe and okay. Please know students are not permitted to carry meds with them. This includes Tylenol and Advil. If for some reason you need to drop meds off in advance, please just email Mrs. Thompson or Mrs. McDonald, and they would be happy to meet you and pick them up from you. This is our school police officer, Officer Valdez. He was a Philadelphia detective for 24 years. He's been in this school for many years now and is very familiar with the students. I just wanted you to have a picture of him so you know who he was. He is a wonderful addition to our team, and we're very grateful to have him with us. So we're going to talk about orientation. So all freshmen and all new upper class students are welcome to attend orientation. It's on August 25th in the morning. And this is what the day looks like. So students would be dropped off. It's parent drop off and pickup. So you'd be dropped off at 7:30. You'll walk the building. We'll do some get to know you games so you're a little bit more comfortable. You'll meet your teachers. You'll walk your schedule, and you'll have an opportunity to sign up for sports and activities at our activities fair. So the plan for drop off is between 7:30 and 7:45. We'd like to get everybody into the building. We're going to use the gym entrance. So I will, closer to the date, send you a visual so you can see where to go to drop off. It'll be one-way traffic. We do a loop around our teardrop and then one-way traffic out. So just so you're aware, when you need to leave, everybody will be leaving to the right. And then pickup at 11 o'clock. We're going to ask you to please park in the student parking lot. Again, exiting campus will be one way. You might have to drive around the block, but as we're trying to get everyone out of here in an orderly fashion, we have found the one-way system works best. So things that we do at orientation. We are going to look at your schedules and make sure you understand what classes you have when and how to get there. We are going to go over breakfast and lunch procedures so a student knows how to access breakfast and lunch. We are going to have an athletics and activities opportunities fair. We are going to talk about homework and summer work. We're going to talk about time management, stress management, and having good mental health. And we're going to remind you that picture day is on September 7th. So for the rest of our students, our first official day back to school is August 30th. That first week, August 30th, 31st, and September 1st, will be our Unit 0. and students will follow their traditional schedule. However, they'll be working with their teachers each period to build their classroom community, to get to know each other, focusing on relationships, community building, being back in class, what our expectations are, setting those shared expectations, as well as we will be holding class meetings with the counselors and the admin team so that we can see everybody and get back into our routine. I know that there was summer work assigned. Please know that will not be assessed until after Labor Day. That first 3 days, while there will be some curricular work, it's really focused on the relationship building and making sure students know they have their teachers there for them and give an opportunity for the teachers to get to know their students. So, the logistics for starting school. These are our two websites that we use. So methacton.org is for everything. You just select high school. And for our students at North Monco, this is the website for North Monco. We communicate by posting onto the website. You should definitely check the website if you have any questions. It's a great first place to look. Every 2 weeks, I send out the high school happenings, where I try to put together the comprehensive list of everything that we have going on, as well as what's coming up ahead. We use the email that's in PowerSchool. So if you could please, between now and the start of school, double check and log into PowerSchool to make sure that you have the email address on file that you want us to send things to. Okay, all you need to do is go into PowerSchool to check or update that. The other thing we use is School Messenger. We use that for bigger types of messages. If you are not signed up for this, I have included the website right here for how to get there. This is where we have our phone calls and our automated messages that go out. So School Messenger is definitely one you want to make sure that you are logged on to. So student schedules will be available on August 15th in PowerSchool at noon. So you're aware of scheduling changes. Per the program planning guide, changes to a schedule to the courses a student wanted to take were needed in March. The only reason why we would need to change a schedule at this point would be if a student successfully completed summer school or private tutoring, if there was a computer, mechanical, or clerical error that was occurring on a student's schedule that didn't get caught, as well as if a student failed to pass a sequential course, we would need to reschedule them for that course. Please know this: the counselors have spent lots of hours going through this process. So July 5th, we rolled over to the new system. We are aware that there was a glitch, that somehow the computer generated schedules were made public. That shouldn't have happened. That was just us rolling over the system. The counselors then went in and hand checked every schedule to make sure that the students had what they needed. So all the lunches are balanced and full. And unfortunately, I'm sorry, we cannot honor teacher requests as the classes are balanced and full. Bus assignments will be in PowerSchool on August 22nd. It's very important you check via a computer and not your phone. It will please check the bus stop, the pickup time, and the drop-off time. And I need to ask a big favor. Please, please, please have your child put this information into their phone before school begins. I know it sounds silly. They won't remember it. When we dismiss at the end of the day, it's like chaos that first week because the students don't remember their bus assignment. So I need to ask, please have them put a note in their phone so they know exactly where they need to go, because they really don't remember. So thank you for your assistance with that. When they get their schedule, they'll have all these periods down the side. And what this means, this is just for your reference, our bell schedule. So students can see, dependent upon what lunch they have, the rest of their classes fall in line below that. School begins at 7:35. At 7:35, the doors are locked and all students need to come in through the main office and get a late pass. For arriving in the morning, this is on a timer. If I don't move enough, the lights go off. Sorry about that. So the doors don't open until 7:15. We don't have staff here until 7:15. So please don't drop off early because we won't be able to accommodate your student. You'll be stuck in the car with them. So bus riders come in through the main entrance. At 7:15, the bus is dismissed and all students come in the main entrance. Car riders are dropped off via Lot F in a single file car line. Please be aware of the traffic pattern. as you can't make a left off of Crable Mill into the car line. So please just be aware of that. Closer to school starting, I'll send you a visual so you can see what I'm talking about, but please be aware of that. Any student can come in and go to the cafeteria to have breakfast. When students come in, either via the car or the bus, they're going to be asked to pick a location and sit down. So it'll either be in the cafeteria, the main gym, or the girls' gym, but the expectation is they're coming in and sitting and not roaming the halls. If they'd like to eat breakfast, they're welcome to. That happens in the commons, but please be mindful that breakfast is only available from 7:15 to 7:30. As I mentioned, if a student arrives after 7:35, they're considered late. Students may have 3 notes per semester, excusing them from lateness. They just need to turn the note in within 24 hours. Please take a look at the student handbook for consequences to latenesses as it pertains to driving. If your student is sick, please, they need to be called out by a parent or guardian. I have the phone numbers listed right here for you. And I know that our students are young adults. However, they can't call themselves out. It has to be via a parent. School ends at 2:20. Car drivers and passengers, for our student drivers, they report to the student lot. The bus riders come out the main entrance, and the buses roll as close to 2:25 as possible. So again, that first week, if students had their bus assignment on their phone, it would really help us with being able to make sure we get the buses out in a timely fashion. And then car riders or parent pickup is in the East Wing lot, Lot F. For our North Monco students, all grades 9 and 10 students will be in the first session. They'll go to the cafeteria. We take attendance, and then they're dismissed to the bus at 7:40. They're at North Monco from 8 to 10, and then they're back to us by 10:20, and they come back in the main office. For our PM students, our 11th and 12th graders, they leave MHS at 11:45 at the East Wing. They're there from 12:10 to 2:25, and then they're home straight from North Monco. I have linked the Student and Parent Handbook and the Student Code of Conduct for you to review at your leisure. Please read these before school begins so everyone's on the same page with expectations. On the first day of school, students are going to be given a student ID. The expectation is that while they're on the bus and also while they're at school, they have their ID either attached to their school bag or around their neck. Dress code, it's available in the student handbook. It's just a quick little excerpt. Please be reminded that attire should not reflect drug or alcohol use, weapons, violence, explicit language, or sexual innuendo. And if students are dressed inappropriately in this way, they'll be asked to change or to sit in in-school suspension until another outfit can be brought for them. Speaking of outfits, for phys ed, the uniform that we have is students need to change into a athletic clothing. So it's a crew neck shirt, athletic shorts. Please try to make sure they're like fingertip in length. They can wear leggings or sweatpants. We ask that they please have socks and sneakers with laces on them. And for swimming, they need a bathing suit and a towel. So very important, students will be given a locker and they must lock their belongings away. They have enough time to get changed and lock their belongings away before class begins, but we keep the locker room locked. However, students never have an issue with things going missing if they lock their things away. If they don't lock their things away, it's outside of our control. Swimming is a mandatory requirement for part of the marking period for all 9th and 10th grade students. For our cafeteria, students will get to select with whom they'd like to eat during their designated lunch. We'll have them pick their tables, and then that will be set by September 10th. So we'll give them like 2 weeks to figure out where they want to sit and with whom they'd like to sit. All school rules are in effect. On nice days, the lunch monitors may opt to take students outside to sit in the bleachers if they'd like. Students are expected to clean up after themselves and throw away their trash and return their lunch trays. Very important, please. Their PIN number, tell them not to give it to anybody because they will have full access to their online account if they do that. So please, PIN number is private. Also, when they're in the cafeteria serving area, if they've decided to take food, just for sanitary reasons, that's theirs. They can't put it back once they've touched it. And we ask them, please don't leave valuables out. Pricing for breakfast and pricing for lunch can be found right here. Again, I'm going to send you this whole presentation so that you can have it to look through at your leisure. Parking is a senior privilege. We do not have temporary passes to be issued, and stickers are not transferable to any other student or vehicle. If you have a study hall at the end of the day and would like to leave early, you may do that if you have your own daily transportation via a parent, if you're an underclass student or a senior that doesn't drive. Seniors, if you drive and have seventh period study hall, you are able to leave early. However, you have to have the form signed. You'll get that during study hall the first week. We need you there for the first week only. Once you get your form signed and turn it back in, at the end of that week, then that'll give us enough time to organize where everybody is for accountability and safety purposes, and then you may leave after that. The one caveat, when you leave, everyone must sign out through the attendance office. So if you are leaving early because you have study hall, sign out in the main office. If you are leaving early for North Monco, sign out in the main office. Everybody goes through the main office so that we have an accounting system of where everybody is. School supplies. So teachers will give you an individual list once school begins. However, this is kind of a general overview of what you can expect to need in high school. So I mentioned to you in June, figure out the system for the assignments. So an assignment book or whatever method your student wants to use for recording assignments, they're going to need something, whether it's online via Google Keep, whether it's an actual physical book, whatever it is, they'll need a method to be able to organize themselves because they will have homework every single night. They're going to need a charged Chromebook every day. They're going to need a calculator for math class. They're going to need pens and pencils. They're going to need a notebook for writing notes for class. So even though they have a Chromebook, they still will handwrite things. They're going to need a folder or a binder for holding their papers. Ask them, please, what they would prefer. It's very important that this is a collaborative effort with the students because their buy-in helps for the system to work. They will need a change of clothing for phys ed. I just mentioned what they'll need for that every day, every time they have phys ed. For those going to North Monco, please check the website because you will have some uniform requirements you'll need to be aware of. And then, as I mentioned, when we're back to school, teachers will share any specific needs that may arise. Just a quick note about technology. A student will need their charged Chromebook and charger daily. So if for some reason over the summer the Chromebook has broken, please, on those first couple of days, have them bring them into the Chromebook service station in the library so that we can get them fixed for them. Cell phones, we don't permit cell phone use in class, aside from if a student wants to use their phone for SmartPass. Cell phones may be collected by teachers at the beginning of the period and placed in a caddy. Please don't call your student during the day. If you need them, you're welcome to call the office and we can get messages to them. Really important, pictures, taking pictures and or videos of anyone, students or staff, is prohibited. I know we live in a world of cell phones. I know my cell phones are right here. Okay, it's attached at our hip no matter where we go. And I know that when things happen, the initial thought is, I'm going to video this or I'm going to take a picture of this. We need to break that habit in schools because it's not permitted. It's a disciplinary violation if a student is caught taking a picture or a video of a student or a staff member. So please make sure that they're fully aware of that. Please also don't leave your electronics unattended. Things have a tendency to walk when people aren't paying attention. So please, anything that's of value, hold on to it, know where it is. It's also a good idea if you have an iPhone to turn on the Find My iPhone option, because if a student misplaces their phone, it's a lot easier to be able to log in and to be able to find it that way. We can play the sound and we know exactly where the student left it, as opposed to if it's not, it's kind of like finding a needle in a haystack here. I mentioned SmartPass. So SmartPass is our digital hall pass system. It's required anytime a student needs to be out of a classroom. Passes can be generated through a Chromebook. You don't need a cell phone to do it. However, sometimes students prefer to use their cell phone. I've included the instructions for how to set up SmartPass. If you'd like to do that in advance, you're welcome to. And just as a quick point of clarification, so you know, SmartPass does not geo-track your device at any time. It is strongly advised to allow notifications so you'll know when a counselor or a teacher has sent you a pass. And also, as I mentioned, it is available through your Chromebook. So, a reminder about digital citizenship. I know we talk about this a lot, but it's really important because high school's real now. We need to make sure whatever you're putting out there is how you want to appropriately represent yourself, because we're going to start looking for jobs and or applying to college, and it's really important that we kind of keep this at the front of our minds. So, we are acting at all times online with respect, protecting ourselves, making sure we're not putting things out there of ourselves we don't want. We're respecting others. We're not putting inappropriate things of others online. We're not sharing intellectual property. Okay, cheating. Um, we will continue to have lessons about this through the year, but we really need to start thinking of that mindset of life after high school is kind of soon. So we want to make sure we're not closing any doors before they're even open. As I mentioned with cheating, it's become a little bit more prevalent because of technology. Please understand and know, taking a picture of a test or a quiz or an assignment is considered cheating. If a student distributes this and or receives this and doesn't, the receiving person needs to tell somebody, okay, so that they can not be in trouble for this. Please, you're obligated, tell an adult immediately, okay? And the adult will contact either the teacher or administration. Sometimes students will wear earbuds. We ask, please, just one so that you can hear us during the day, especially when you're in the hallways. Anything of value, leave it at home. I'm going to reiterate this again. At no time students are permitted to take pictures or videos of staff, students, or the building. And any electronic bullying that originates or is received during the school hours will be addressed by administration. We have some summer work. As a school, we are reading the book I Will Always Write Back. I have a link here to the website so you know what book it is in case you haven't gotten it yet, as well as a link to the summer work website. Some of the classes have some summer work for practice that would be important for students so they don't experience that summer slide. If you could please take a look at that, it would be appreciated. And homework during the year. So every night, almost, your student will have homework. If you could please have those conversations about how they're keeping up with it and help them to manage their time. These 4 years are a really big time for figuring out what works and doesn't work for the students with time management. If you have an issue, you have a problem, this is our chain of command. So academically, if a student's not doing well, we'd like you to please, you'll see the grades, talk with your student about what's going on. Have your child be the first person to reach out to the teacher. They can talk in person, they can email if they're not comfortable talking in person, whatever system it is, but have the student be the first one to make that contact. If it's still not resolved after your student has done that, then please, parent or guardian, reach out to the teacher to, again, have that first person conversation. If after speaking with them it's still not resolved, please reach out to the grade level administrator so that they can step in to help assist. Regarding sports and activities, same process. Have your student talk to the coach or the sponsor regarding their concern. If it doesn't get resolved, parents step in, speak to the coach or sponsor, and then after that, if it's not resolved, please reach out to Mr. Smink, our athletics and activities director. So we practice what's called progressive discipline. Things, progress along, and things escalate as they get more serious. But the first person to speak to, the classroom teacher will speak to the student. If it doesn't get resolved within the classroom, it'll escalate to the grade level administrator. They'll counsel the student, communicate with you, and if there's an appropriate applicable consequence, that will be assigned at that time. It's really important for you to know, though, disciplinary records are private. We do not send them to college or to schools or to employers. If you need assistance, teacher, counselor, nurse, school resource officer, principal, assistant principal, any adult in the building really can help as that first step. If a friend confides in your student they're struggling, please have your student tell an adult, tell an adult tell someone so that we can assist. They also can submit a SAP referral during the year, or serious issues could be reported through Safe to Say. Or, again, the fastest and the easiest way to do it is to tell an adult in the building so that we can help you. Some parent homework, your dates and to-do lists. So here are our marking period dates. Okay, really important, as I mentioned. So there's 4 marking periods. So each marking period is 25% of their final grade. So everything counts. So it's really important that we're keeping on top of our students as they're progressing through their 4 marking periods. We have midterms in January, the week of January 23rd to 27th, where students test in the morning and have some asynchronous work, studying, etc., in the afternoons. And then with final exams, once we have our graduation date set, we will backfill our senior exams and our underclass exams. So, and we'll get you that schedule in the spring. Our school calendar can be found right here. And then some dates of importance for you for the first 6 weeks of school. So the kids start back on August 30th. The next week, we have our first back to school night. It's September 7th. It's for 9th and 10th graders. It'll be in person, as well as we'll record it and post it. As well as on 9/15, we have our 11th and 12th grade back to school night. We split it because we want you to be able to be at whichever child that you have, whatever grade they're in, and we want you to be able to park. So having all 1,600 at one time really is difficult. So we try to split it in half. Homecoming is on October 7th. We are going to have a week of Spirit Week. We're going to have a lot of festivities for homecoming. So please mark your calendar for that now. And then PSATs are on October 12th. For all 10th and 11th grade students, we give them the exam during school. Our 9th graders will be on site for a career fair that morning, and our 12th graders will have the day to job shadow and or go on a college visit in person and or virtual, so that they are able to start firming up that process of life after high school. So your to-do list. We are going to get you the nursing forms closer to the start of the school year. I'm going to ask you to please, you and your student, read the Student and Parent Handbook and the Code of Conduct. Please have the summer work discussion with your student. Make sure they look at the summer work website. Make sure that they've read their One Book, One School book. After August 22nd, they're going to use a computer, not a phone, and check their bus assignment. And they're going to put the bus assignment in their phone. Please, please, please. Please check your school lunch balance. I've linked the website for you right there. Talk about the homework book and the organizational system. Figure out what's going to work for you. And then have your student find their Chromebook and their charger so that they are able to start school ready to go for the first day. Some best practices, some things to consider as we're going into the school year. Please try to facilitate your child disconnecting from their phones at home. I know it's difficult. I know as an adult, I struggle with this. But really, it's important. They don't ever get a break, ever. The kids don't, if we don't force the break. So please determine what that looks like for you at home. I always am a big fan of the phone being charged not in the bedroom, because you'd be shocked as to how kind of kids can just kind of stay awake, and they're just online a lot. And I am in no way, shape, or form trying to tell you how to parent. Please, I need advice from you more than you needed from me. However, it's really important that they disconnect. Secondly, they need sleep. This is the time in their lives where they really need the sleep. So please make sure you guys are having a discussion on what you think is an appropriate bedtime, knowing that they have to be up so early in the morning. We encourage you to please read the books they're reading in school so you guys can have those conversations at home about what's going on. And then, I know that they hate this. However, it's really important because everyone needs a little bit of assistance. You still can check their homework, even their essays. I know as a former English teacher, I get the cold shoulder when I say, hey, you want me to check that for you? No. And sometimes I just force it, because having someone else see your writing, having someone else be able to kind of check, always is best practice. So please, you are welcome to have those conversations with your student. Some other resources, again, right here at the end, the link to our summer work so you don't have to go digging for it. And that's it for right now. So as you go through this, if you have any questions, I have one of our administrative assistants, Mrs. Lorraine Deegan. I have her email address right here. If you have a question, I'm going to ask you email it And in the subject line, you're going to put your student's name and the grade level so that we can contact the appropriate grade level administrator to get back to you. So I'm going to send you another one of these. I promise it won't be so long, regarding sports and activities. And I'm going to send you another one of these regarding resources for students and assistance for them so that you are aware of our plans before school begins. So, but for now, this was a ton. If you need anything again, please send an email, follow that format, and we'll be good to go. I hope you enjoy these last couple weeks, and we'll see you soon.